In this video, I'm going to show you how you can place your trade and make at least each time you step into the market with this little strategy I'm about to show you. Is little, but it's going to be a very huge promising one. You will be closing your market with at least $100 if you will follow this rule. This strategy is very nice and it is convincing if you practice it using any capital you have, possibly from $15. If you have this as your capital, you are good to go, because I will take this thing so down that you will be able to follow it as I'm about to say it now. All right, my name is GDFS. In this video, we are out to help someone to step out and make a huge profit and step out and make a very good difference in your forex career. All right, here is what I want to show you. Some of you have seen this severally, but there is one little thing I will add to this to bring you to a point where it will really surprise you if actually you are the one making this money. Yes, you're asking, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. You can do that. You may have seen different strategies, but this one is going to surprise you how massive it's going to be to you. You know, let's move down to the business of the day. We have in our main chart, this particular main chart, this thing you are seeing here is a moving average, and right here is our stochastic oscillator. But do you know one funny thing about this? It looks as if you already know it, but I'm going to show you something that is going to be a surprise to you. Let's move down to this and show you what we have here. Right here, what we'll be needing here is moving average 14. Like the last video I just dropped, I don't know where the issue entered, that there was no sound. I don't know what really happened, but I am sure that from the raw file the sound is there. So I don't know if it was from the downloading process or anything, uploading process. I don't know actually, so I have to rush down to make this video for you so that you'll be able to grab it. So if you are using your smartphone, this particular video, the same thing you are seeing here is applicable to what you have here. So watch this video to the end so that you'll be able to follow it and make the profit out of it. All right, this is moving average 14, and here what we'll be using here is simple, no longer exponential. This one, because I want you to see something different and make a very huge difference in this market today. All right, so moving average 14, apply to close, simple method and shift 0. All right, this is what we have here, and this is this red you are seeing here. This one you are seeing here, I will remove it completely. All right, I am removing this completely. So what am I going to be doing with this? I'll be adding something else, but before I add that thing, let me show you something in 1 hour time frame, and you will tell me what you think about this strategy. Now look at this. Do you know that only this moving average 14, it helps you to pick out the trend lines? Do you know that? It helps you to pick out the trend lines. Do you know that after this little consolidation, do you know that this little moving average helps you to fish out that this market is on the way? Do you know that every time this thing tried in this manner, do you know that this never happened? Which simply means that even using moving average 14, it helps you to detect a complete reversal using your 1 hour time frame. How? When you are thinking of marking a trend lines without being confused, you know, a lot of times we'll have a trend line. Sometimes we'll draw it, follow this thing and see what I'm talking about. Do you know it? Do you know that that same moving average serves also as a trend line when you apply it rightly? Do you know? So that is what we'll have, because follow this thing here from this very angle to this very point, from that place to this very point. These are the key levels, you know, here, 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 and here. So when the market finally breaks out from this very corner, this resistance line, that is what I called it, never allowed the market to cross and give you. So which means that if you are a good forex trader, why you have this moving average 14, as this market try to cross over, you will not panic, because you know what you have. So if the next candle opened against it in the higher time frame when it must have closed from this resistance zone, then you will be sure that what you have is correct. What do I mean? As long as you have moving average 14 here, here, next candle did not come and cross it and at the point start again. No, it stops instantly at the close of the candle and the next candle opens. So what happens when the candle moved up like that? What do you see? Do you see it? That as long as the market move up like this, like what we have here, nothing, you have nothing to be afraid of. Check it. All this while, right here, and right here, the market was moving in this direction, but at a time when the candle cross over to this moving average 14, it gives you this strength that you should stay off the market. So if you have been catching your spike from this very angle, from this point you have been catching your spike down to this place, you are want to stay off the market because this market is changing direction. Why? How do you know that it's changing direction? Which means even if you have been holding, you think that it's not time for you to close, it is time for you to close because the market have changed direction. All right, so what are the things you'll be looking at for and how do you place trade using this very strategy? There are things you should add up in this place. Number one of them is having moving average 14, and the second one that you'll be adding up in this place is what we call moving relative strength index. This time we'll be using the default relative strength index, but the only thing we'll be changing is the levels. Right here is the level, so watch how I'm going to be adding up the level so that it will not confuse you and it also help you to find out what we're doing. By default, relative strength index have for 30 and 70 and 70. So what we'll be adding here is we'll be adding right here, we'll be adding 90. Please, I'm adding the indicators. 90. This one will be adding 50. Sorry about that. We'll be adding 50, and we'll also add up this very one, 10. What you are seeing here is exactly what we have in our previous video. That particular video will drop in the last time, so that's exactly what we have here. So when you have that, when you add up those things, this is what you have. Now let me change this parameters color, this style, so that it will be visible in the screen, so that no matter where you are, you can see it. So if you want to add up something here, you can still check this one. Remember that this thing I'm doing is applicable. You can do it, you can apply it using your smartphone. There is no difference between this and that. The only difference is the size, the shape of the, which is the landscape, and some of you that are using smartphone, that will be like this. So each time you are adding up those things, so don't be afraid, because what you have here is similar to what you'll be having in your smartphone, as much as you follow the rules as it's supposed to be. All right, so when you add up those things, that is another thing you need to add in this particular place. What is that thing? We need to add up moving average. What is the moving average for? What is the moving average for? Let's add moving average 24, and you know, this time we'll have moving average 24 here. Let me add this navy color, navy blue, so that it helps us to remember. I'm adding the same relative strength index, simple method. All right, now look at what we'll have here. This is what we'll have in this place. I will backtest it to show you how accurate this can be, but this is not all that we'll be using. Right in this place, we'll be adding something that we'll use to supplement this thing, so that it will help you to fish out some common errors, and you will never make such a terrible mistake that you have been experiencing in the past. All right, so let's add up something else in this relative strength index below. All right, let's go right here, and now this is that particular moving average 14. This, what we have here, is moving average 14, simple moving average 14. That is what we'll have below, and in case you don't know, this is moving average 14. That is what we'll have below here. So how do we make use of this? That is something I need to change in this parameter, in this relative strength index, so that it will not confuse us. Let me change this color. Let me change this color so that it will not be, let me change it. What should I use now? All right, let me just change it to something different. Good. This is what we'll have in this place. So how do we make use of this? Now follow these simple rules. What you have here, right here, is 1 hour time frame. We will not be trending in this 1 hour time frame. The only thing we'll do here is to visit the higher time frame to see the trending candle. Every entries we'll be making in this very market will be based on 1 minute time frame. So let's go down to it and see how you can use this to cash out without messing things up. All right, so follow this now. Whenever you open your trade, whenever you open your account, your MT5, your smartphone, and you really want to make profit, how do we do that and what should we do? All right, this market works good, perfect on boom 1000, crash 1000, see 500. You can do it and use it on crash 300. But mind you, before you use crash 300 to do this, please don't fall victim of thinking of making quick money and start using crash 300 when you don't know more about forex. Why? Because as long as you are using this crash 300, you may lose your $5,000 if care is not taken. Because as long as you are trading using crash 300, you may lose more and also gain more. So what is my advice for you? My piece of advice for you is, before you trade crash 300, know that you know what you are doing. Don't just jump into the market thinking that you know it all, because you are going to lose out. So first rule before you enter here, follow this. This is the main deal. Having shown you the indicator, the parameters, this is how you should enter your trade. First rule before you place your trade is make sure that this line is on 10 level. Make sure that the red line, which is the moving average 14, is resting on level 10 in your relative strength index. Make sure. That is number 1 rule. Number 2, make sure that this very relative strength index line, which is the signal line, this particular line you are seeing here, make sure that it is below, it have touched the 30 levels. Why? Because by default, relative strength index is set up in a way that it carries nothing less than, right in the line, what you have is 70 and 30. So any other thing you have below that, that one is maybe a makeup. But when you change this particular thing you are seeing here, if you change it to period 3 or period 4 or 5, you will notice that it will touch even above 90, above 200 or whatever. But as long as it is on 14, period 14, it will be working mostly on in between the 70 levels and 30 levels. So when you see that, don't think that you are in a wrong place. So follow this rule. So allow the market to touch the red must. When I mean must, first touch this particular 10 levels. If it is on boom, make sure that the red must touch the 90 levels. That is number 1 rule. And the blue must not be in this line, must not be in between the 50 and the 30. The blue must go below the 30, and that is number 1. Then inside it, you must not enter because it just touched, because it can still touch it and continue to pull down. you must allow it to take a journey up. You must allow it to come up and stay, lift the head like this to move. What I mean is that you will not just immediately you see it, the arrow is pointing down like this, but it have just touched, then you enter. You will make a very huge mistake, because right there as it touched, it can still continue to touch and you will not know where the thing is. So the best thing for you to do is to stay clear and allow it to lift the head like this to move up. Once that happens, you are on a safer side. That's number one. Failure to do this, you are endangering everything and you may lose the trade. That's number one. Number two, you must know your zoom level, because zoom level can also frustrate you. That's number two. Number two is that you must know your zoom level. What is the zoom level for? Do you know that when you are placing a trade in this particular market, you can see a particular market pointing out in a direction like this? Do you know that right here in this market, it will surprise you that this thing that you find here, when you zoom out, it will touch here? Why? The market is having this potential move of going up like this, but because of the zoom level you are using, the market may point here. While you are waiting for it to spike back, the market will continue to move up against your plan. So that is why you must know your zoom level. So which one is the right zoom level for me to use to be safe and trade and make profit in this particular thing? The first thing that must drop in your mind when you talk about the zoom level is you must zoom out completely. What are you zooming out? Zoom out to see the trend of the market. You will zoom out like this. You visit all the time frame. What are you visiting for? Visit your 1 hour time frame. Visit your 1 hour time frame like this. What are you doing? You are doing it to be sure that the market is in the right direction. So for you to know, one, the market the market came from this direction and now trying to move up like this. So what does that mean? When you are entering trade to expect this to drop like this, you must first consider the trend of the market, which means that it has been in this direction for a period of time and now it's trying to move up. So if this thing should try like this and still move down, which means that it is called a continuation, and here is where the decision will be based on. So you must not be too fast to jump into the market without considering those things. So immediately you check your higher time frame, you start going down like this. You start going down. What are you going down to do? Now, when you have something like this, you are not sure. So any move of this in this direction here and start coming up, that is your entry point. Something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this. Do you get that? All right. So when you have seen that, you have this opportunity to place your trade and make good profit. But let me show you the exact entry point using your 1 minute time frame. All right, let's go. Here now, the market here, look at this. Look at this. The market touched at this place and this one touched here. This is where the market lifted its head, and here is the crossing, here is the move. Check out and see how convincing this can be. So where is my entry point? Your entry point is here. And where is my TP? Your first TP is immediately this line first touch these 50 levels. But there is one advice I need to give you. Immediately this line touch the 30 levels, that is your first TP. The second TP is 50. Then the last TP should be on 70. Should be on 70. Should be on 70. So first TP is as the market starts to move up from that place to from the 10, then target your TP to the 30 levels. If you have small accounts, if you have like $15, you have like $10, $20, $100, please target your first TP at 30. Then your second TP should be on 50. Then if you're a hardcore, then take it to 70 and possibly allow it to go to 90. But I'm not advising you to do that, except you are a hardcore or you know more about forex trading. That is the best way to trade and be profitable. All right, let's backtest and see more proof on what I just showed you. Look at this one. It crossed here, it crossed here. Even when the spike is coming, you know that when you enter from that angle, look at this, it still ended you here. Do you know that before that happens, you have already taken your first TP? You know, you have already taken your first TP before this spike, if you follow the rules carefully. That is how simple this thing can be. Let's backtest again and see how this thing can work. Now, first this one touched here and this one touched in this place. Then the market entered. Look at it, the market still move. So even if while you entered it there was a spike, you will not panic, because the spike cannot come against you, because right here, as this market is moving, before this one will spike, you have already taken your first TP. That is how market works. This thing, you can do the same thing on your smartphone. You can do the same thing on your smartphone. Look at it, you can do this more than 5 times in a day and you'll be closing with huge profit. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. You can do it. You can do it. So try this and you will definitely make profit. My name is GDFS. Thank you, my returning subscribers. Thank you, my followers all over the world. Thank you. Please join our Telegram group. That place will be coming back in that place with massive result, because we'll be dropping tremendous signals in that place as soon as things turns out immediately. Now, so go back to the place. If you are there, hold on. Don't be too fast to leave the group. Stay there. Then if you're looking for mentorship, if everything we are saying is confusing to you and you want to know more about forex trading rather than watching all the videos every time without making good progress, GDFS is always available. Even if it is not GDFS, it is advisable for you to look for a mentor, because a mentor will always put you through and it is good for you to learn. All right, so go back to your trainer and learn from them. My name is GDFS. Thank you and remain profitable.